Alrighty traders, hello everybody, this is John Howell here. I am going for an afternoon walk, so I thought, as I'm going for an afternoon walk, I want to share with you some things. I want to share with you behind the scenes of my year as a trader, and hopefully some of these things I can really sort of coach you and guide you down the path. And the purpose of me doing these videos for you is because when I first started trading the markets, I found it really difficult, right? Because I didn't know what to go. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what to focus on. And so over the last 20 years of me trading the markets, I've started to learn a lot about, like, how do I actually really get ahead in the markets? Like long term, not just lucky every now and then, like, you know what I mean? So not just lucky every now and then. And so that's the reason why I like to do these videos for you. Firstly, you can see the actual. I like to do the updates, as you guys can see, when it comes to me and the screen cam, when I was checking out the charts. And then here, these videos are a bit more just personal with me, about me and so on and so forth. So I want to open up a bit more about my actual year and how my year's gone. And hopefully some of the things I can really help you and guide you down that path as well. And as I said before, like when I first started trading, I had no idea what to even focus on or what to even do. I won't go into too much in my story here, but if you go to John's, Johns, John's free training, it's a webinar that I'm running. On that webinar, it goes for 60 minutes. You'll be able to see all the details to who I am, my backstory. I teach you my trading system and more. So if you want to learn all that stuff about me and my trading system, I teach you for free on that's johnsfreetraining.com. But the purpose of this video here is to say that if you've been trading the markets for 5 years or even 10 years and you're finding it difficult right now, right? I understand. I understand that it can be quite tough. It can be quite challenging, right? Let me go back to here. Right? It can be quite tough and it can be quite challenging to know the truth about getting ahead in the markets. And one of the things that I've learned in the markets, and one of the things that I've seen when it comes down to even my own personal trading, I always found it difficult. I always found it hard. I'm like, man, I just can't get it, you know? And I've been trading the markets for 20 years now. And my first 5 years, I lost $250,000. Oh, actually, I was $250,000 in debt because that was borrowed money. So, you know, and I almost lost everything. It was so bad, and I was horrible. And I was day trading, and at the time, because I was day trading a lot, I was spending all my waking hours after work on the markets and not with my wife at the time and not with my kids, and I wasn't making any money because I was blowing up trading accounts. And so I felt shit as a provider, I felt shit as a husband, and I felt shit as a father. And it was like, oh. And so, because again, I didn't know, you know what I mean? And hopefully these videos can give you, like, what's taken me 20 years to figure out, and what's helped me have some really nice success in the markets here. So, just to run down, my year has been really good, right? But I want to take you through the journey of how my year has gone. So when the whole tariff situation happened at the start of the year, I didn't actually have a lot of trades. I had a few trades I took through the tariff situation there, but my equity curve didn't really do much. Now I want you to hear this out here, okay? One of the biggest mistakes I see, and what stopped me from moving forward, is I was always trying to be very active. And one of my coaching clients, who's recently signed up with me, he's like that. Like, he wants to trade so much, you know what I mean? And we want to stop that. We want to stop that. Because I'm pretty sure you know, when it comes to just, trading the markets, if you do all these types of different trades, it just doesn't work, you know? So here's my year, and then hopefully some lessons and things and so on and so forth. So the first probably 3-4 months, there was not a lot of trades, because, as you know, there was huge volatility. And here's how the year generally plans out for most traders. What's generally happened is that you're going to have your periods where there's not going to be a lot of good trades. And where most traders go wrong is when there's not a lot of good opportunities, then you force it, and then you try to make something up, and then that's when you end up doing something bad. I've done that so many times, you know what I mean? Like, there won't be any trades, but I really wanted to take a trade. I really wanted to make money, and then I take a trade, then I end up losing money, and then I'd say the words, which I'm pretty sure most of us have, at the end of that month. And for me, it was at the end of the year for many years in a row. Man, I just wish I didn't trade this year. I just wish I was back to break even. And it was hard. It was definitely difficult to go down that path of that. And so I've had to learn that the urge to take a trade when there's nothing there for me, I can't do that, right? And so one thing I've found is that throughout the year, when there's quiet times, I've realized through trading that through your year there's going to be seasons. You're going to have times where there's some really good, nice trades, really nice active trades. So there's going to be some times where there's some really nice active trades, and then there's going to be times when there's going to be no trades. Unfortunately, a lot of traders, they blow themselves up when there's no trades there. You know what I mean? And so, like, I've just learned for myself through so much pain that it's just not worth it. It's just not worth it to take trades. It's just not worth it to take trades when there is no trades. And so therefore, one of the biggest things that I've learned is that the art of being patient. You know what I mean? And that means sometimes, like, the way that I trade is I'm a swing trader. I have never made really good money by day trading or trading a lot. I've made a lot of money, and this year I've done really well. And I'll walk you through that in just a minute. But I've made a lot of money trading, but swing trading, meaning I'm looking for those really good opportunities that I can hold it for a month or two and make a big profit from, and then get out, right? I think, and not being greedy all the way, like riding it and so on and so forth. And so I'm pretty sure, and this is where, like, my trading went from day trading and small profits and big losses, and to now I only trade, 1 hour per day. The reason why is because, like, I had the scans help me find the trades, and then when I look for these opportunities in the markets, I'm not looking for a lot of opportunities. So I'll give you a rundown about my actual year. So the first 3-4 months where the whole tariff situation was happening at the start of this year, I had a few trades that I took, but there wasn't much going on. If you see my equity curve is pretty flat for the first 3-4 months of this year. And there wasn't a lot of trades. So I went for about 3 or 4 months with not a lot of trades. I think I had 1 or 2 trades for the first 3 or 4 months. Now, a lot of traders, right? A lot of traders have problems with that. This is where a lot of traders get stuck, because a lot of traders have problems with not taking a trade. Now, the thing, as I said before, if you can do really well trading the markets, but trading in a way where you're very active all the time, I take my hat off to you, because for my style, I couldn't do that. 1, I was sitting in front of the charts all day. 2, it was always a lot of trades. 3, it was low. It was all horrible. Now I've got a lot of good things going on there. So back to my year this year, and again, I'm trying to walk you through some lessons as well too. So it was a period there for the first 3-4 months. I only had 2 trades, right? 1 trade was a break even, and 1 trade was 170% profit. But that was it for about 4 months there as the tariff situation was happening. So there wasn't a lot of trades. And this is where as you know, this is where a lot of traders get it wrong. This is where a lot of traders make a lot of mistakes. And so, because I was going through that, what's called quiet season, and because I was going through that quiet season there, I knew I just couldn't take anything. But then what ended up happening is, after about 4 months or so, That's when all these opportunities start to click in for me. And since then, here are my trades since then. And I hope you can understand, this is how every year I have a successful year, by having this mentality. Meaning, I don't know when there's going to be a period of time when there's going to be no trades, and I have to be patient. And I don't know when there's going to be times where there's going to be a lot of trades. I didn't know how this year is going to plan out. I just got to be ready for both sides. So the first 3-4 months of this year, only a couple of trades. One was break even, one was so I made money at the start of this year, but that was out of the first 4 months. And I promise you, this is where, when there's not a lot of trades, this is where people start to push it, force it, they want to trade, right? And I've just learned through pain, I can't do anything like there. Now, I can't do anything because my trading setup is not appearing. See the differences there? So it's not me not just taking a trade. I'm actually looking for my trading setup. And this is the biggest thing. I think a lot of traders who I see in the comment section of the YouTube channel, there's no strategy behind them. They're like, well, I think gold's going to 4,000. So that's not a strategy. You know, that's not long-term success in the markets. So after the 3-4 months of this year of going through that and being patient, only a couple of trades, that's when things really started to click for me. So here's been the rest of my year ever since then, for the last 6 months or so. My first trade into that sort of last 6 months, my first trade was a trade on ZBH. That was the stock, and that was a 30% loss, right? So I made 170% profit at the start of the year. Then a couple months later, I had a break-even trade, and then a couple months later, I went into this season. All right, so roughly about 6 months ago or so, that's when I started this. So those 3 trades, and then ZBH was my third trade from memory, and that was a 30% loss. Okay. Then I took a trade on Groupon, and Groupon was a 300% profit for me. ZBH was a small loss for me, but that's, remember I said before, I'm looking for those big profit trades. So then ZBH was a 30% loss. Then I had Groupon, GRPN. When that broke out, I made 300% return on that. Some of you guys remember the Platinum trade that I took. I made 250% return on Platinum. I took a trade on Ethereum, and I made around about, I think it was around about 400% return on my risk. I bought it, but the risk I had on there was roughly 400% return profit on that risk that I had on that trade. So that was Ethereum from there. And then I took a trade on SIL recently, as you guys saw, and I made 280% return on SIL, and I also made 75% return on silver. I'm in no trades right now, by the way. I'm in 0 trades. And the thing is that a lot of people call me whatever they want to call me, but as you can see, now I trade the same amount of money and on those trades every single time. And the thing is that if people realize the amount of money I trade, I want to stay humble, but people are like telling me like I did the wrong thing and I didn't hold, why didn't I hold on to silver and why didn't I hold on the mining sector? It's like bulls and bears make money and pigs get slaughtered, right? I'm having a phenomenal year this year. Like look at the last 6 months. ZBH was a small loss, 30%. GRPN 300%. Platinum was 250%. But there's this right same amount of money. Ethereum 400% return, 280% return. Now I don't know about you, but when you start to do things like $20,000 and $30,000 per trade, now mine's the same amount of money, which that's roughly again, I'm trying to stay humble here, but I hope you can see that if you do like a $30,000 trade, which that's my average trade for myself, if you do 280% return, you see the numbers there, right? It's like that one trade is more money than most people make in a year, let alone all the other ones, right? So we can actually we can go down the path of doing that, and we can go down the path of seeing that. So that's been my year there. But as you can see, the last 6 months there's only been what's that? ZBH, Groupon, Platinum, Ethereum. So there's only been about 6 trades. So on average, 1 trade a month. But it's all about having big profits. Makes sense? So the whole thing about this video here is I'm trying to guide you down that I've never made really good money from day trading, active trading, and by trying to be lucky. I don't know, like for my recent trade, SIL and silver, I don't know, this may still go up, but I don't care. I've just banked a lot of money. I've just made a lot of money on those trades. I don't care if it keeps going up. You see what I'm saying here? Now, the thing is every single one of those trades met my trading rules that I look for. And so now I've done all that. So, but as you can see, right, look at that. Look at my last 6 months. Last 6 months, 6 or so trades, 1 small loss. Everything else was profits, and they were big profits. My only loss in the last 6 months was 30%, right? Now, I have a group called the 1% group who's with me every day, who sees all this sort of stuff. So I actually do this live, you know what I mean? So if you want to get access, if you like this sort of style trading, and you want to get access to me every day where you can see what I'm doing and, you know, get coaching from me every single day, if you go to getjohnshelp.com, then that's an application form to actually join my 1% group. It's only around 15 people right now. I try to keep it really small. And I show you everything I'm doing. You know, people see that I'm doing there, and I coach you and guide you there. So my whole purpose in this video for you guys is I'm trying to share with you that it's not about being right or being lucky or hoping, you know what I mean? It's about having a process throughout the year that helps you do really, really, really well. And again, this is the only way that I'll be able to make a lot of money from trading, is being patient, waiting for these opportunities, get into it. Like SIL, I think I was in it for about 2 months. But let me ask you a question. If you made 280% return and you did, you know, even a $10,000 trade, that's a lot smaller than in my trade, but $10,000 trade, now we're talking about almost a $30,000 profit in 2 months. How many more of those trades do you need a year for you to hit 6 figures? Do you see what I'm saying here? It's a different mindset shift. People are like, I'm trying to be lucky. I'm trying to get on gold right now, and I hope it's going to move. Or I hope the mining sector, you know what I mean? Like, no, there's no hoping, right? And that's obviously where my trading comes involved. I train people exactly what to look for those setups that has the potential of doing that. No guarantees, right? But it has the potential of making that move. And that's my forte, right? It's not about being lucky. It's about, I know what to look for that has the potential of making a nice move for the next month or two. And that's why I've just been very, very fortunate that, and with that, along with some really good trade techniques or trade management techniques. So I hope if you're going through a bit of a tough time this year, maybe some of the things I've shared with you about how I've been able to succeed in the markets, again, like I didn't do a quarter of what I do right now as in profit by trading 6, 7, 8 hours a day, and having no freedom. I end up getting cancer. I end up going through a divorce because I wasn't spending time with my wife. I felt shit as a father because I wasn't spending time with my kids, and it was horrible. Now I've switched it to where because I know what I'm looking for, right? I know what I'm looking for, and I know how to analyze these opportunities. I wait for them, right? If I have to wait 2-3 months for them, I'm happy to wait for that. Because as I said before, are you happy to wait 2 or 3 months for opportunity? If you did, say, a $20,000 trade and you made, you know, almost 300% return, that's $60,000. Are you happy to wait 3 months for a potential like that? Like, I'm not saying you're going to start there straight. I'm not saying you're going to do that, by the way. There's no guarantees of making an income, right? And there's no guarantees of that. But I'm trying to show you, like, this is what I'm looking for. I'm looking for the potential of doing that, because if I can make a 300% return on a trade, again, there's no guarantees of this happening, right? But if I can keep that sort of return where I can have a 200-300% return profit, but then I can have a trade like ZBH and it's a 30% loss. As you can see, I've had a massive high win-loss ratio, really big profits, small losses. This is the only way I've been able to have successful years, and I stay in the top 1% because I look for these opportunities. Make sense? And then every single year when you start to build on that. So anyway, traders, I hope this sort of guides you down the right path. I wanted to open up about my year. And again, like, some of you guys see my SIL trade that I got out of. People are like, you're an idiot, John. Why'd you get out of SIL? It's like, don't you guys realize I'm already out a lot of money. I'm already out a big profit from there, so I'm banking it. And 2, I've only got a month left of my option to go. It was an option trade that I was in. So it's just being smart, you know what I mean? It's like I only had a month left of my option, and so I knew any pullback, like we're getting right now, by the way, right? I knew that it would destroy my premiums, which is actually, by the way, which has happened. I got out at the right time, because if this pulls back and takes another couple of weeks to pull back before we go for another move, my options are already getting destroyed right now if I stayed in. You know, instead of me making 355% return collectively, because it was 280% and 75%, so 355%. You know, I might be down. I might have lost a lot of that premium, which I know I did. You know, and then we're seeing silver pulling back right now, and at that time was a perfect opportunity to get involved with it. And this is where I don't care. I'm not trying to pick a top. I'm just trying to look for the right time, a good time to get out, and ride that there. So anyway, traders, hope this sort of helps you out. Just opening up about my year here. Once again, guys, if you like this sort of training, if you like this sort of style, and you want more help around this here, and you are committed, then go to getjohnshelp.com. That's an application form to my 1% group, and you and I will personally have a chat on the phone, and we'll go from there. Speak to you soon, guys.